Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Lionel. I'm your host for LT Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. Today, we are covering, not brand new to the channel, but a brand new season of Heart and Hustle Houston, which is season 2, episode 1. I do appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video. You can also subscribe, and you can leave your comments below. Now, let's get into this week's episode. Okay, y'all. As I said before, Okay, y'all. So as I said before, with Heart and Hustle of Houston, or Heart. Jesus. Okay, y'all. What I have said before as far as Heart and Hustle Houston, yeah, I did watch and I reviewed. So you can go back to some of my other reviews. It's in my playlist and all that. But basically, we have a... Jesus, why can't I? Okay, y'all. So as I stated before, Heart and Hustle Houston is not unfamiliar with this channel. I did watch and also reviewed last season, which debuted around June or July of last year. I'm not for sure exactly the month, but anyways, it's a good show. I think they had like 8 episodes. It wasn't a reunion and all of that. But it's a group of entrepreneur women who are successful in their own right. We got Manira, who's a content creator. Chloe, she is an event planner. Latoria, she is a PR events planner. And also she was a partner in a club. I think she gave that up, but I can't remember right now. Elenia, a makeup artist. She's gotten into a lot of great doors. She was also on Divorced Sisters as the makeup artist, at least for Latoya Luckett. I don't know if she did the whole cast, but she was on that. I do remember that. We have Labrina. She has her own land ranch, has spas loaded. We got Ms. Veroe. Now for a while, she wasn't she a GM for a restaurant, but she had her own thing going on too. I think she recently left there because I can't remember why she left, but it was to free up some more time for herself. But anyways, and who do we have left? I think I said Chloe. If I didn't, Chloe is an event planner. All of them, love them all. Anyways, we're here this season, and it's been several months since the ladies have been together, and it looks like how things ended last season isn't where everyone is now. Because when we last left these ladies, everybody was in a good place, everybody was speaking positivity, being prophetic to one another, and now the group is split. There was a lot of concerns after the cameras went down, and people wanted to talk and just list their grievances that we weren't aware of. Chloe had some with Labrina. Latoria had some grievances also with Labrina. Because whatever happened, they came together. It was suggested or recommended to have a therapy session as a group so that we can get over this stuff. Labrina ended up walking out, cussing and all that, and she has not spoken to any of them, and I don't think that anyone on their side have tried to reach out to her. It's in a crazy place right now. I'm really shocked and I'm surprised, but anyways. Latoria, she's having an event, and she's invited all the ladies, as she said. Only Chloe and Bro showed up. And she says that I'm not really surprised as far as the state of what the group is in. However, I did invite everyone. Bro, you look great. Bro, you done cut your inches, and now you're a blonde, and you look great. You did say something, you did something with your stomach and all that. There's a great energy about yourself. I think that, if I remember correctly, now you're a cool person, and I was gonna call you a chick, but I'm not gonna do that. You're a cool lady, a woman. There is a vibrance about yourself, because I know that you were going through therapy and you were coming out of a lot of old stuff that was holding you down. But you're quite lighter, and you just look good, lady. Outside of your hair color, I think you've even changed some of your clothes as far as the type of colors that you wear. And I've only seen one episode, but I'm like, this lady's glowing. Chloe did show up. They instantly get into what was going on in this whole therapy session. Chloe didn't like some of the things that Labrina was saying at the winery last year. Or probably that was filmed in 2024. Whenever the winery was, we saw it in 2025. Labrina had brought up some things that she heard about Chloe and how she's supposed to be a scammer and all that. returning clothes, buying them and returning clothes with the tags on and all of that, as far as like she didn't wear them and all that. If I could have sworn, I thought Labrina was bringing that stuff up, like, hey, there were some things that were brought up to me, but I still wanted to get to know you. I didn't think that she was accusing Chloe of anything. She was just saying, look, there were some things that was going on, whatever, but I pushed past all of that. I don't know if you didn't want that brought on camera or whatnot, because I'm just confused at where the offense was at in regards to that. At least from what we know right now, Latoya and Chloe feel a type of way because Labrina brought up saying that y'all not on my level. Latoya has a problem with Labrina because she had invited Labrina to an event that this lady, who is Latoya's friend, was being honored. And it got back to her that Labrina was saying while this was going on, that the friend looked like Precious. There is no type of compliment in that. And Latoya has offense towards that. Latoya, you can have an offense about it and you don't like that being said about your friend, but I'm just lost at the moment, unless we get some more details about it, I'm just lost at why that is an issue for you. Unless you're taking it at heart, it's like, well, I'm plus size, so what are you saying about me? Is that your offense? Or you think that it rubs you the wrong way? Because it's a little bit like you're taking on someone else's problem. Now, you can always say, Labrina, that was wrong, and you shouldn't have said that, and you shouldn't have did that at my event. I invited you there. You're my friend, and that shouldn't have never came back to me. If that's your issue, cool. Anyways, they asked, about Elena, because I guess how the group is split as of right now, Latoya, Chloe, and Ro. And then Manura, she is, I guess they're assuming that she's on Labrina's side because Labrina and her have a better relationship. Elena, it just really goes where the wind blows, because not as far as like she's unstable, whatever, she's not really in it. They're talking about Elena because they are trying to figure out, did Elena get a divorce or not? Because it was announced right after the finale that Elena they were either separated or filing for divorce. And for us that watched last season, we were cheering that on as far as what was going on between Elena and Josh. Even though we thought one way, at least I did, because I was thinking that Josh went out and cheated on you again, because he cheated on you before. But how it was dragged out and insinuating, I'm not saying what he did didn't have impact, because it was a betrayal to you, and I do honor your feelings in all of this, Elena. But it was just like, it was just leading up to something else, or we expected something else. I don't know. Then we get on Chloe. Chloe and her man, who is Jordan, is 28 years old right now. I forgot how many years apart her and Jordan are. She's older, but Jordan is the same age as her eldest son. We done found out that dude cheated. I just have some things to say about that, Chloe, because Chloe is trying to, at least when she's telling the story to the ladies, she act like, I'm fine about it, I'm fine. That was so early on in our relationship, he was cheating. Something came into her DMs and somehow she got a hold of the information that Jordan was cheating, and it happened at his place. I'm a little bit lost when she was talking about the access codes and all that stuff. It's not really making sense. I was like, okay, whatever that is. But Ro says, look, I know she's trying to act like she's unbothered by it, but she's bothered. And of course she is. But she's trying to excuse it by saying that, oh, this happened so long ago. So a young man decided to pursue a younger, mature woman, cheats. And he was doing it so early on. Obviously there was commitment there. But she said the way that she reacted to things is that she told his family, sent a group text and all that. Chloe, you better be glad that this was a different outcome for you, because I'm telling you, a lot of these families are quite cultish. And guess what? They're going to take up for their family member over you. So I guess everything's okay. We haven't really gotten to elaborate on how anyone else is responding to what you did release out there into the group chat. So she says the only thing that's really bothering her about this whole situation with Jordan is that he's dishonest. He won't own up to anything, but she has the receipts. Which is really weird because we're going to go to a scene. I'm like, sir? Like, I'm just questioning, okay, what in the world? And Latoya was too. But anyways, I have a problem with you, Jordan, because there's no way that you sat up there and cheated on this lady. And then you want to act like you have some say as to how she's raising her son or treating her son, who is an adult, and trying to say, okay, well, he needs to do something, get a job, da 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 da. I remember your input. You thinking that you cheated. Hopefully, like I had a problem back then, and now I have a greater problem with you. Hopefully, Chloe's taking that into consideration, but you're too busy just like about the whole situation. But you want me to be honest. But at the same time, it's like I don't know how to explain it. It's just like you're saying it's nothing, but at the same time, you want me to be accountable. I don't know. I gotta see how you are handling things with Jordan. I gotta see y'all in some type of whatever, because I'm just a little bit lost as to how what's really going on in our relationship right now. I'm a little lost. Rose says, this is a red flag. However, she's still going to support her friend. She did say, look, whatever you do is what you do. I'm just letting you know I'm going to give him a little tap. And I'm glad that that's a friend that wants to do that and just like, not just saying, okay, girl, but also, look, you can't be doing that to my friend. I love Ro, just to let you know. She said that for the time that they've been together, she's been having to teach Jordan how to love her and to also communicate. Do I understand? Yeah, I do. A little bit. I get that you do need to teach someone because they don't know you, and you got to let them know how to properly take care of you and love you and appreciate you. I get all of that. If you're teaching a 28-year-old boy anything, you don't see where there's just a not an alignment between you all. There's not a maturity there. I don't want to discount someone because of their age, but there's things that are showing up, Chloe, that's letting you know and letting me know that this ain't it, ma'am. This ain't it. But this is your life. This is your life. All right, so I think we're at Manera's place. I'm not for sure, but maybe at Labrina's. I think at Manera's. Manera's having a great upspring in her career right now. She's working with a lot of brand deals. Everything's on the up. Her and Norman are in a good place. They're going out on dates. Last year with them, that was kind of something that they needed to work on. And even his relationship with her mother, with his mother-in-law, I think she was living with them or whatnot, but there was just kind of this friction there. But anyways, they kind of like, they've been on the mend, and I think that that's cool. Anyways, Labrina says that an update that she's made an expansion on the escape spa that she owns with her husband. They're also venturing out. They've got acres of land of where they're going to turn a business into a rescuing horses type of situation, just like a rescue center for any abused animals. This is specifically for horses and all that. I said that's pretty cool. And look, I don't know, probably it'll be a rehab center, try to get them better and all that. That's a lot of work, but I would like to see how that comes into play and all that. But we got a whole season for that. I don't know how many episodes we're getting, but we shall see. Labrina said, have you talked to any of them? She don't even want to say, don't even say their names. Manora said, well, not really. They're not really, I'm not talking to them, they're not talking to me. They talked about this therapy session, and Labrina is still confused as to how she became this target. How am I the villain? And she said that even when they were mentioning the on my level comment, she said, I didn't mean it like that. She gave an explanation and all that. But anyways, Manura feels like it was an attack. Everything was on her, I feel that. So Manura's riding with Labrina. And then they brought Manura into it saying, oh, of course you feel that way because you're really tight with her. Like, how can you're trying to say that Manura is not objective, but because Manura has an opinion, y'all got an issue with it because y'all just want her on your side. I don't think that that's fair. Totally. If there's anything maybe Manura could have seen or said, hey, Labrina, hey, this is wrong, but I still back you. I don't know who's wrong or right at this point. I still don't feel like the issues are that deep. I still don't know what your issue is really, Chloe. The only thing that if you wanted to have an issue with is the whole not on my level. I can see that. But then it's like, what do you want from her? Especially after she explained herself and what she meant. Next up, Latoria has invited Chloe, Ro, and Elenia. Now, Ro lost her inches, and Elenia has gotten some inches. Elenia is growing. They have made that observation already about her. Elenia hasn't been around, so she doesn't. I guess she wasn't in the therapy session or whatnot, but she learns that the group is split. Latoria said that this stuff is minor and we should be able to get over it. So are y'all just waiting for Labrina to come to y'all because she walked out of the therapy session? Because how y'all were sounding at the event the other night, it was just like, oh, I don't know. This is the first episode. I'm just trying to figure everything out. And you hit it right on the spot, Latoria, where I just don't think that it's all that deep. Elena, she used to be doing classes, I think tutorials for how to do the makeup and all that. I forgot what it was. It's a way for them to actually gain clients out there as far as being makeup artists for different companies and all that. And brand, yeah. But it used to be every quarter, and now she's having classes every month. So business is booming. And also with her own, being a makeup artist herself, she's traveling to Paris and having her own projects and her own clients over there. So everything's on the up and up. Seems like everything has been on the up and up since she went on and left Josh. But she didn't leave him. She actually says that she asked him to leave. Anyways, they're asking, okay, so are y'all divorced and all of that? Elena says that, first I was like, when she was explaining everything in the confessional, so y'all still together? They are divorcing. She wouldn't answer who filed for divorce, but basically they took the hint that she filed for divorce. Elena said, look, I just got tired. And it seemed like I did everything that I could on my end, and she would have loved for Josh to fight. And they're asking her different questions like, so do you really want this divorce? Because you're kind of going back and forth here. She said, my desire is to keep my black family together. And I get the sentiment. I really do. But can we I feel like this black love is a myth and something as an ideology to try to build up it's something. And I just think love who you gonna love. And I'm not saying that you gotta be in an interracial relationship, but this whole concept of black love, because mostly y'all have just built up these idols and built up these celebrities, and then most of them haven't even survived. But y'all was saying, look at that black love. That's just my opinion. They asked, are you dating? And she says, no, not until the ink is dry on my divorce papers will I date. I mean, that's her choice. Rose says, I can understand where Elena's coming from. She's still healing. Rose says that I'm still healing, even from her last relationship, because I believe she was dating a sports guy, but somebody that was in the NBA or NFL. I can't remember which one it was. But yeah. But she was just talking about, look, I haven't had no sex since March. So I was like, okay. Yeah, because she's still healing. Cool. We're done with that. And now Latoria's having a scene. Guess who she's with? Jordan, Chloe's man. Latoria got this message from Jordan saying that he wanted to meet all of a sudden and definitely wanted to know what was going on. Jordan meets up with her and says, I'm ready to go to the next level with Chloe. And all I got is just yikes all over my face. Really? He wants to propose. Latoya has a lot of questions for him at that point, but she's not letting on that she knows what's going on. She would have appreciated if he would have told her, "Hey, da 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 da. We do have some things going on. And she's, even though he's not owning up to it, she's accusing me of this, da 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 da." But one of the answers to one of the questions that was asked, he says that, "I know I'm ready to be a husband, but you can't be accountable. But you can't be accountable." Sir, you got a rude awakening. He says that he's 100% sure that this is where he wants to be at. So Tori said, let's come up with a strategy. She's quite the PR person, thinking business-wise. I mean, marriage is a business for one. Anyways, he said, she was asking, what's the time frame that you want to propose? And he says, within the next 60 days. And you haven't been able to be honest with your lady. I feel like you think this grand gesture is going to make Chloe say, "Oh, you for real?" and just forget anything that's been brought to her that is troubling. Because a lot of y'all will do that. That's manipulative, in my opinion. So we shall see how that goes. All right, so the last scene, we see Labrina with her husband, Will. Will is an ex-NFL player. And who is? I think Labrina. Yeah, Labrina has an older child, and I think that they got children together, Labrina and Will. But the child is not Will's. Will is not the father of Labrina's older child. Anyways, and the reason I'm bringing this up is to what's going to be discussed. Will and Josh have bonded, and he's invited Josh over just to talk. Now, I thought this was going to be a Will and Josh session, and after seeing what happened later on in the scene, or hearing what was going on in the scene, I think that Labrina should have backed away and not been in it. Just saying. But anyways, they talk about the marriage and the split. Josh never thought that his children would be going from place to place, meaning spending time here and then spending time over there. Of course, we know that Elena asked him to leave. And he did it. Will can relate in regards to the whole child going here and there. So then they get to the nitty-gritty of things, because we know that an issue that has been the betrayal is what Will did as far as making these investments. Why did you do it? He said that he was trying to find a way, because this is post-COVID, and business wasn't really looking too hot, and they were really in the hole, and he was making all these investments and all that, and he didn't really tell her until it got really bad, as far as like, we don't have any money. That's a part of the issue as to what Elena has with him. He was just trying to get them out the hole. He said, well, why did you wait? Why? He didn't feel like he could really come to her. She was a breadwinner and all of that. She's painted it out to be this picture of me thinking I got this ego or whatnot. But what's been deduced between Labrina and Will, Josh didn't really have an outlet to say, hey, I got this going on. So he didn't feel like he could really say anything. He said he was embarrassed. Well, then with your pride. Pride is a part of ego too. But you had pride up about what you were doing, and you were doing things deceitful. However, Josh does feel like how the picture was painted is not the whole truth as far as what Elena's saying. Because it was brought up, well, Elena said that like therapy was basically, and I'm paraphrasing, that Elena was begging for you to go. He was like, no, I was willing to do that. Whatever it took, whatever she was asking for me to do, I was going to do. So she had to do all that. Well, Josh, that right there lets us know that you were just quite lazy about wanting to do anything about your marriage, which could correlate with what Elena was saying in the beginning. She just wanted a smidget of hope that you were going to fight for your marriage, and you didn't. That's according to her. He said even after being asked to move out, he was trying with her. On their anniversary day, called and said, hey, you want to go do something together? And she said that she made plans with the children. And I guess that was just really off-putting because it's like, wait, what? From that point out, he just waved the white flag and threw in the towel because she just started shutting him out of things. How you're talking and how Elena's talking, some things aren't really correlating. And I don't know, sir, totally. I like to get your input because we hardly heard anything from you last year. But it seems like this is what it sounded like. You don't like how you were portrayed last season, and now you need someplace where you need to vent and try to get your side out, even though you had chances to do it back then, but you didn't. Will says that is there no coming back from this? He said, I don't know because I can't unsee things. He says, I'm not the only one that messed up. So she did say that you cheated. Did Elena cheat too? And he admits that she did cheat. Now, if I can remember correctly, when Josh cheated, she found out right before the wedding, and she still went on to marry him. I can't remember if he cheated during the marriage or not. I don't know. If you went, I don't know what the right answer is because people would say, well, she just got her lick back. But she said yes to him as far as being married to him, and if she did this after they got married. No. It kind of feels like Will wants some revenge at this point because of how he's been portrayed and then how he's also been shut out. I'm taking into consideration that, okay, Josh may not be just the villain in this. I don't know. If you would have spoke up a whole lot more, we probably wouldn't be at this conclusion. But now that it's a new season, it's just like, Josh, it's looking a little bit suspect. But something that's in the preview of what's going to be happening this season, when Elena confronts Labrina, this is why I said I think that Labrina should not have been in the midst of that. And I think that Will should have the talk with Josh alone. That's what I think. Labrina feels like, he does have a right to have his own voice. I think so too. But because of your dealings with the wife, I don't think that was really cool. Because it's always going to come off a certain way. Especially, I'm not saying that you are intentionally trying to do some damage to your friend. However, he came to your house and now you're asking all these questions and he's spilling all this, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So you're going to have some responsibility at however Elena's going to feel about you meeting, because from what I understand is that you didn't communicate with her about it. That's probably where the offense is going to come in at, but we got to see. Anyways, I'm ready for a whole season. There's a lot I could tell you about last season, but it's just probably best for you to binge. It's 8 episodes. I'll be filling in some of the blanks as whatever the story goes along on each episode, but these are a good, solid, well, it's a good, solid show. As far as a group, I don't know. Even though I still feel like most of this stuff is elementary, but hey, whatever. I appreciate you all for coming to my channel. Like, comment, subscribe, and until the next one, peace.